Welcome once again to the studio. As I start into this video series, I sat this morning in reflection thinking about quite a few years back, around 1970, when I was working in a technical field and industry and rekindled, if you like, an interest in drawing and painting again, one that I'd carried since childhood. And I started back to night school classes and many workshops to try to build a toolbox of basic or foundation principles in drawing and painting that would serve to help me express myself along the way. In looking at the video for today, I thought, I'd like to look at this at a little higher level before we get into the how-tos and some of the other things related to the various painting mediums that we might use. I thought about inspiration itself, or inspiration and creative process, if you like. Creative process and of course, the technical side of it, the many forming processes in painting that we may engage. And I thought back of a demonstration that I'd done some years back, and it related to inspiration and creative process. And it was a bit of an obsession for me at the time. And I guess the best way to look at this is I think we've all had moments when we put that canvas up or the papers down and wonder at this white surface and what am I going to paint and how am I going to develop the painting idea. Inspiration, big point here. We gather that along the way, and sometimes it's in outdoor painting or en plein air painting, or perhaps through photo studies, photographic reference. Today, with the communications being so accessible to us globally through the web, we have many resources that we can access. The art history references, and of course the wonderful videos that one sees coming out with work from many fine painters all around the world who offer materials and thought for aspiring painters. So this idea of inspiration and creative process, as I mentioned, I reflect back, and the painting I have in mind was one I'd done called The Alchemist's Obsession. And an alchemist, if you have some historical knowledge, Middle Ages time frame, the alchemists of old were engaged in the notion of transmutation, in particular lead into gold or some other precious metals. And there was also an aspect of it that pursued the higher consciousness in man that might open insight or vision or wisdom or inspiration and give greater access to creative flow in life. Of course, here we're talking about painting, but this was applicable to any endeavor in one's life journey. So at the time that I did this painting and demo, I did not have access to a video camera, in fact, not even a cell phone camera. So this is assembled from a number of still shots. The paintings that followed this, in fact, became part of a series that I called the Seeker series, and it really was about inspiration, engaging creative process. Where do we find inspiration, and how does this apply in life in general? So the paintings that followed were rather conceptual, as was this one of the Alchemist, and I called The Alchemist Obsession. So I'm going to show you the few slides that knit together, and at the end, perhaps a couple of the other images that were developed in this series. So this really will precede the evolution of other videos that I will present here and demonstrations, painting in various mediums and in various painting directions, from representational work to abstraction. So here we go. Well, there is that old adage that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that seems to be one of these magic perceptions about creating paintings. We often try to assess or analyze what we have to add or not add to make it more effective or a better creative expression. So I guess in a way, the painter is a bit like the alchemist of old. I think we spend a lot of our time trying to reveal our own personal thumbprint in painting, and certainly looking for a sense that we've accomplished some kind of integrity, at least, if not some increasing excellence in the finished product. But I think a big part of this is to, of course, there's always much to learn. There are many techniques and many directions that we may explore. But I think a big factor is that keeps us going as well, and is part of inspirational fuel, is enjoyment of process. If you can enjoy the process and not be so obsessed about the outcome on a specific work, but rather let some of this be serendipitous, it may keep us going longer on this journey as a painter, exploring more. So I hope this has offered up something that might be of use to you in the beginning of these videos that I will put out. And yeah, hope to thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you along the trail. Bye for now.